The Nevada Black Site had hardened by June 1982, its concrete walls scarred from years of secrets. The Stargate program, now fully DIA turf, buzzed with renewed purpose under Reagan's Cold War push. Ingo Swann was gone, comatose since the Jupiter clash in '76, shipped to a military hospital, his shadow-haunted sketches locked in a vault. Clara Evans had vanished after that night, fleeing Hensley's grip. Richard Hensley stood at the lab's helm, grayer, leaner, a cigarette perpetually lit as he pored over a fresh file. A downed UFO, Siberia, coordinates locked tight. Joseph McMonigle stepped in, a broad-shouldered Army vet with a limp from Vietnam and a quiet intensity. Recruited in '78, he'd proven himself on Earth targets, bases, silos, defectors, but this was new. Russell Targ adjusted a recorder, Harold Puthoff prepped the EEG, and Hensley tossed the file down, its cover stamped classified. "Joe," Hensley said, voice rough. "You're our guy now. Swann's out, Clara's AWOL. DIA's got a hot one, Soviet crash site, Tunguska region. Something fell, and it's not theirs." McMonigle nodded, settling into the chair. "Heard rumors, UFO talk. Real? Real as Swann's Jupiter ring," Hensley said. "Satellites caught it, metal, no heat, no ID. Coordinates only. Go." Puthoff handed him the slip. 64 degrees, 50 minutes north. 100 degrees, 20 minutes east. McMonigle studied them, then closed his eyes, breathing steady. The DIA had drilled him. Focus, detach, see, but this felt heavier, echoes of Swann's warnings in the air. He sank, the lab fading, and a frozen wasteland hit, snow-crusted pines, a sky gray as steel. Metal gleamed ahead, jagged, half-buried in a crater. A craft, sleek, black, edges sharp like Jupiter's but cracked, leaking a faint hum. His pencil moved, sketching blind. Hull, fractures, a torn wing. "Cold," he murmured. "Taiga," trees snapped flat. "Ship's down big, 50 feet maybe. No heat, no life. Just humming." Hensley leaned in, eyes sharp. "Humming." "Low," McMonigle said. "Like a pulse, alive but weak. Snow's melted around it. Odd, no steam." Targ's recorder whirred, his voice low. "Shape." "Wedge," McMonigle said, pencil scratching. "Smooth, dark, same as Swann's craft. Something's off, feels watched." The shadow flickered then, tall, faceless, standing at the crater's edge. McMonigle's hand froze, a chill spiking his spine. "It's here," he rasped. "Same thing, Swann's shadow. Watching me." Hensley snatched the sketch as McMonigle's eyes opened, steady but tense. "You're sure Swann's?" "Dead sure," McMonigle said, rubbing his neck. "Tall, no face, same hum. It's tied to this." Puthoff checked the EEG, frowning. "Spikes, smaller than Swann's, but there. Something's active." Hensley studied the drawing. Craft, crater, the shadow looming. Tunguska, 1908 was the big hit, but this? Fresh. Soviets didn't shoot it down. Satellites say it fell clean. McMonigle leaned back. "Not Soviet. Matches Swann's Jupiter ship. Same vibe, alien." Hensley's mind churned. Swann's coma, Clara's watchers, Price's death, all circled back to this. The Soviet amplifier in '74 had gone dark, but a downed craft now? "They tapped it," he muttered. "Woke it like Swann said." Targ paused the recorder. "Joe, you felt watched, same as Ingo?" "Yeah," McMonigle said. "Not hostile yet. Just there. Like it's waiting." Puthoff rubbed his chin. "If it's the same craft, or kin, those signals Clara heard, prepare, might be live here." Hensley lit another cigarette, exhaling hard. "Then we've got a body, proof the Soviets can't bury. Joe, you're back tomorrow, deeper. I want inside that thing." McMonigle nodded, calm but wary. "If it lets me." "It will," Hensley said, voice iron. "DIA's pushing, Reagan wants leverage. This is it." The lab quieted, the hum of McMonigle's vision lingering in his head. Not the crafts, but the shadows. He'd read Swann's files, Kazakhstan, Jupiter, the duel, knew the cost. Price died, Swann broke, Clara ran. Now him. He stood, steadying his limp. "I'll rest. Tomorrow's gonna hurt." Hensley watched him go, then turned to Targ. "Get this to DIA, sketch, tape, all of it. Priority." Targ hesitated. "Rick, Swann said it took him, that shadow. Joe's stable, but nothing," Hensley cut in. "He's tougher than Swann, soldier, not artist. We're cracking this." Puthoff gathered the EEG strips, voice low. "If it's alien, and aware, we're not just viewers. We're targets." "Good," Hensley said, smoke curling. "Targets fight back." He stepped outside, the desert night swallowing sound. The coordinates, 64 degrees, 50 minutes north, 100 degrees, 20 minutes east, burned in his mind. Tunguska wasn't history anymore. It was now, and the shadow was proof. Swan's watchers, alive, crashing on Earth. The Soviets had poked it first. He'd finish it. The Nevada Black Site hummed with sterile precision in June 1982, its lab a fortress of blinking consoles and guarded silence. Joseph McMonigle sat rigid in the viewing chair, EEG wires trailing from his scalp, his sketch of the Siberian UFO, crater, craft, shadow, pinned nearby. Richard Hensley loomed over him, cigarette ash dusting his sleeve, the DIA's impatience crackling through his clipped voice. Russell Targ adjusted the recorder, Harold Puthoff monitored the EEG, and the coordinates, 64 degrees, 50 minutes north, 100 degrees, 20 minutes east, sat heavy in McMonigle's hand. Deeper, Hensley said. Inside that thing now. McMonigle nodded, his soldiers' calm masking the unease from yesterday's shadow. The coordinates spelled out, 64 degrees, 50 minutes north, 100 degrees, 20 minutes east, pulled him back to Tunguska's frozen waste. He closed his eyes, sinking fast. Snow hit first, biting, endless, pines snapped like matchsticks. The craft gleamed in the crater, black and cracked, its hum a faint pulse. He pushed past the hull, mind stretching, and slipped inside, dark, hollow, walls smooth as glass. A chamber opened, vast, lit by a faint glow, yellow, pulsing, like Semipalatinsk's amplifier but older, alive. His pencil scratched, chamber glow, jagged lines. Inside, he murmured. Big, empty, but not. Something's humming, core glowing. Feels ancient. Hensley leaned in. Core. Yeah, McMonigle said, voice steady. Not tech, organic almost. It's watching. The shadow loomed then, tall, faceless, filling the chamber. Its hum spiked, syncing with the core, and McMonigle's hand shook. It's here, same one. Knows me, knows Swan. Targ's recorder word. What's it doing? Showing, McMonigle rasped. Images flooded, earth, primitive, caves and fire. Then minds waking, seeing beyond, psychic seeds planted by the craft's makers. The shadow pulsed, revealing tall beings, featureless, sowing humanity's gift millennia ago, watching it grow. They made us, he said, pencil faltering. Psychics, us them. Seeds theirs, to track something. Hensley grabbed the sketch, chamber, core, shadow. Track what? Don't know, McMonigle said, eyes still shut. Big dark. Out there, asteroids maybe. It's waking. The shadow turned, its gaze await, and the hum roared, Jupiter's craft, Semipalatinsk's machine, all linked. Soviets tapped it, he gasped. Woke it too soon. His eyes snapped open, breath ragged. Hensley stared, smoke curling. Tapped it. The amplifier, McMonigle said, wiping sweat. Swan's duel prices death, it's their fault. This, watchers, they're pissed. Puthoff checked the EEG pale. Spikes, huge like Swan's coma. It's active. Targ stopped the recorder. Joe, you're saying they seeded us? Yeah, McMonigle said, steadying. For something protection, maybe. Asteroid swarm, AI old. Soviets screwed it up. Hensley's mind raced, Price's watchers, Swan's shadow, Clara's seed. The craft wasn't random. It was a monitor, crashed when the Soviets overreached. DI needs this, he said sharp. Joe, your gold, rest. Targ, taped to DC now. McMonigle stood, limping slightly. It's not done with us. Felt it. Good, Hensley said. We're not done either. The lab quieted, but across the country, in a Virginia shack, Clara Evans froze mid-step, a radio droning Reagan's latest speech. She'd hid here since '76, silencing the whispers with isolation, until now. A voice hit. Seed wakes, sharp, from the craft McMonigle saw. She dropped her mug, shattering it, and grabbed a pencil, scribbling. Tall, no faces, angry, ours. Her hands shook. Hensley hadn't found her, but this had, watchers alive reaching. She'd heard Swan's coma through rumors, knew the cost. The shack's walls closed in, the hum faint but growing. She whispered, Ingo was right. Back in Nevada, Hensley lit another cigarette, staring at McMonigle's sketch. The shadow wasn't Soviet. It was older, cosmic, and the DIA would weaponize it. Puthoff, he said, cross-check Swan's Jupiter, same craft? Puthoff nodded, digging files. Shapes close, black, sharp. Could be. Then it's theirs, Hensley said. Soviets woke the watchers, crashed one. We've got the edge. McMonigle lingered, voice low. Edge. It's not ours to take. They're mad, felt it. Let 'em be, Hensley said, exhaling. We're madder. He stepped outside, desert heat hitting hard. The coordinates 64 degrees 50 minutes north, 100 degrees 20 minutes east, unlocked it. A seed, humanity's psychic spark, now a battleground. The Soviets had lost control, he wouldn't. Clara, in Virginia, stared at her sketch, the hum louder. She'd run, but not far enough. The Nevada Black Site was a pressure cooker by mid-June 1982, its lab strewn with Joseph McMonigle's sketches, Siberian craft, glowing core, the shadow, and EG strips spiking off the charts. Richard Hensley paced, a cigarette dangling, his DIA radio silent after days of demands. More data, faster results. Reagan's administration wanted leverage over the Soviets, but the Watcher's seed, humanity's psychic origin tied to an alien crash, had Hensley spiraling. Swan's coma, Price's death, Clara's flight, all pointed to a truth too big for the DIA's leash. Russell Targ adjusted his recorder, voice low. Joe's stable, but that vision, Watchers, AI swarm, it's beyond us. DIA's pushing blind. Harold Puthoff nodded, sifting files. Swan said the same, took him. This isn't espionage, it's cosmic. Hensley crushed his cigarette, eyes wild. Cosmic or not, it's ours. Soviets woke it, crashed it. We've got the proof. McMonigle limped in, steady despite the strain. Proof's dangerous. They're mad, felt it. You're poking a hive. Good, Hensley snapped. Hives bleed. DIA's strangling this, red tape denials. I'm done. Targ frowned. Done how? Hensley grabbed a phone, dialing fast, a civilian line not secure. Jack, he said when it picked up. It's Rick. You still digging for UFO scoops? Jack Tanner, a scrappy journalist from D.C., had hounded Hensley for years, fringe papers, wild claims. Hensley'd brushed him off until now. Yeah, Tanner rasped. Got something. Biggest yet, Hensley said low. Soviet UFO downed, Tunguska 82. Alien black alive. We saw it, psychics, DIA program. Watchers, they call M, seeded us, tracking something. Swan's comatose, Price dead. It's real. Silence, then Tanner's breath hitched. Jesus, Rick, you're serious? Dead serious, Hensley said, glancing at McMonigle's sketch. Coordinates, 64 degrees, 50 minutes north, 100 degrees, 20 minutes east. Check it, blow it wide. Puthoff lunged, pale. Rick, no, DIA'll bury you. Too late, Hensley said, hanging up. They're burying us already. This forces their hand. McMonigle's voice cut through, calm but hard. Or ours. You just lit a match. Watchers don't like noise. Hensley glared. They're not here, Soviets are. This'll shake 'em. The lab froze as the radio crackled, DIA furious. Hensley, report now. Anomalies detected, your sector. Hensley smirked, tossing the sketches at Targ. Packet, essentials only. They're coming. Targ grabbed the recorder, stunned. You've lost it, leaking to a hack? Lost it. Hensley barked. Swan's brain dead, Clara's gone, Price is a ghost, this is winning. McMonigle stepped closer, unflinching. Winning's quiet. You screamed, they'll hear. Hensley ignored him, storming out. The desert night hit cold, his cigarette flaring as he lit another. Tanner'd run it, headlines by morning. UFO downed, U.S. psychics confirm alien watchers. The DIA would scramble, Soviets too. The shadow, Watchers, might stir, but Hensley didn't care. He'd force the game open. Inside, Puthoff shoved files into a case, muttering. He's cracked, years of this broke him. McMonigle stayed still, eyes on the sketch. Maybe. Or he's right, they're hiding too much. Targ sealed the tapes, voice low. Joe, you felt it mad, waiting. This'll wake it. Let it, McMonigle said, limping to the door. I'm not running. In Virginia, Clara Evans hunched over a radio in her shack, static buzzing Reagan's latest. The headline hit, leaked, garbled Tanner's voice. Soviet crash psychics watchers. Her pencil froze, the hum surging. Seed wakes, sharper now. Hensley's betrayal cracked her silence. The watchers knew. Back in Nevada, Hensley stared at the stars, smoke curling. The leak was done, chaos next. He'd win or burn. The Nevada Black Site was a war zone of panic by dawn, June 1982, hours after Richard Hensley's leak hit the wires. Jack Tanner's garbled scoop. UFO downed, U.S. psychics confirm alien watchers, crackled over radios, sparking DIA fury and public buzz. Inside the lab, Joseph McMonigle sat calm amidst the storm, his Siberian sketch, craft, shadow, crater, still pinned to the wall. Russell Targ and Harold Puthoff scrambled to secure tapes and EEGs, their voices drowned by Hensley's radio barking orders from D.C. Contain it now. Hensley paced outside, cigarette flaring, the desert sun searing his graying hair. The leak had worked. Soviets were rattled, DIA scrambling. But the cost was coming. He'd forced their hand, and he knew they'd hit back. In Semipalatinsk, Colonel Yuri Volkov stood in the cracked dome, the amplifier roaring back to life after years of silence. The leak, coordinates 64 degrees, 50 minutes north, 100 degrees, 20 minutes east, confirmed his worst fear. The Americans had the Tunguska craft, his failure exposed. A new sender, Dmitry, young, untested, sat strapped in, electrodes sparking, nose already bleeding. Volkov's voice cut through the hum. Full power, target their lab. Break them. The scientists hesitated, gauges redlining. It killed Andrei, 76, one said. Do it, Volkov snarled. They've got our watchers, end this. The amplifier surged, uranium rods glowing hot, and a psychic pulse ripped out, raw, jagged, aimed at Nevada. Back at the black site, McMonigle's head snapped up, a jolt hitting his skull. Incoming, he said, voice steady. They're pushing hard. Targ dropped to tape, stunned. What? Before Puthoff could check the EEG, the pulse struck, silent, invisible, a wave that buckled the room. McMonigle gripped the table, steady, but the shadow flared in his mind. Taller, angrier, its hum a scream. It's them, he rasped. Amplifier Soviets. Hensley burst in, radio mid-shout. What's? He froze as Clara Evans' scream echoed. Not here, but in Virginia. She'd been hunched in her shack, radio droning Tanner's leak, when the pulse hit. The hum. Seed wakes, exploded, splintering her mind. Tall, faceless watchers loomed, their whispers. You're late. A roar. She clawed at her head, pencil snapping, scribbling chaos. Ours, as the shack's walls bled shadow. In Nevada, McMonigle's EEG spiked, but he held soldier's grit. They're mad, he said, breathless. Watchers stirred. Saw it, asteroids swarm waking. Puthoff yanked the readings, pale. Overload worse than swans. It's not just Soviet. Hensley's cigarette fell. Swan. Shadow, McMonigle said, wiping sweat. Took their pulse, amplified it. They're losing control. The radio crackled, DIA frantic. Hensley, breach detected. Psychic anomaly, your sight. Report. Hensley grabbed it, voice rough. Soviet counter, pulse. McMonigle's hit, holding. It's alien watchers. In Semipalatinsk, Volkov watched Dmitry convulse, blood streaming, the amplifier sparking wild. Too much, a scientist yelled, shutting it down. The hum died and Dmitry slumped, dead, eyes blank. Volkov staggered, the pulses echo in his head. Ours, not his, not human. He'd aimed at Nevada, but something else fired back. Clara's mind shattered in Virginia, fragments of watchers, tall, furious, swirling. She saw the swarm, AI, ancient, stirring in the asteroid belt, then blacked out, pencil rolling from her hand. At the black site, McMonigle steadied, the shadow fading. They're done, he said low. Their guy's gone, felt it snap. Targ stopped the recorder, trembling. Clara, she screamed. I heard it. She's not here, Hensley snapped, but doubt flickered. The pulse had reached beyond. Clara, Swan, anyone tied to the seed. Puthoff held the EEG grim. It's awake, watchers swarm. Soviets lost it. We're next. Hensley's fists clenched. We're not. DI's got this, craft proof. My leak worked. Worked, McMonigle said, hard. You broke us open, they hit back. Clara's out there, felt her break. Hensley glared, radio buzzing ignored. She ran, her choice. We've got the edge. The lab stilled, McMonigle's calm a stark contrast to Hensley's fraying. Edge is theirs, he said. Watchers don't care who started it. Hensley stormed out, slamming the door. The desert glared, his cigarette flaring as he lit another. Volkov was dead or reeling good. The leak had blown the lid. DIA would scramble, but he'd vanish before they pinned him. The shadow didn't scare him, results did. Inside, McMonigle sat, the hum faint but alive. Clara's scream lingered, shattered, lost. The swarm stirred, and he knew. The race was unraveling. The Nevada Black Site was a ghost by dusk, June 1982. Its lab stripped bare after the Soviet pulse shattered Clara Evans' mind and rocked the DIA's Stargate program. Joseph McMonigle stood amid the wreckage. Empty tables, unplugged EEGs, sketches gone, his limp heavier from days without rest. The shadow's hum lingered, faint but persistent, a scar from the Tunguska craft vision. Richard Hensley's leak. UFO downed, U.S. psychics confirm alien watchers. had exploded across fringe papers, and the DIA's response was swift: silence it. Russell Targ paced, recorder off, his voice low. They're pulling the plug, DC's orders. Reagan wants it dead, boxed, forgotten. Harold Puthoff shoved files into a crate, grim. Hensley's leak pulsed too much. DIA's got egg on its face. They're blaming us. McMonigle's gaze fixed on the wall where his sketch, craft, crater, shadow once hung. Not us, he said calm. Him. He's gone, ran after the hit. Hensley had vanished hours after the pulse, radio silent, cigarette butts littering the desert where he'd last stood. The DIA hunted him, traitor, rogue, but McMonigle knew he'd slipped the net, files in tow. The leak had worked. Soviets reeled, Volkov likely dead, but the watchers stirred and Clara paid. The door banged open, a DIA officer, stern, crew cut, barking. Clear it now. Program's terminated. Data's classified, black site sealed. Targ spun, furious. Terminated? We've got proof, craft, watchers swarm. You can't bury this. Watch me, the officer said cold. Reagan's call, public's buzzing, Soviets denying. It's done. Puthoff slammed the crate shut. Swan's comatose, Clara's lost, Price is dead. This is what's done. McMonigle stayed still, the hum pulsing. They're awake, watchers. Shutting us won't stop it. The officer glared. Your job's over, soldier. Pack. He left, boots echoing. McMonigle limped to the crate, pulling his last sketch, chamber, glowing core from memory. They seated us, he said low. For that swarm, AI out there. Soviets cracked it open. We're just cleanup. Targ rubbed his face. Joe, you felt it mad waiting. What now? Now. McMonigle said, folding the sketch. It finds us, or we find it. In Virginia, Clara Evans lay curled in her shack, mind splintered by the pulse. The radio hissed static, Reagan's voice drowned by whispers. Ours. Tall, faceless watchers loomed in her head, the swarm flickering, asteroids dark waking. She hadn't moved since collapsing, pencil snapped beside her scrawl. They're coming. The hum was her pulse now, unbroken. Back in Nevada, the lab emptied fast, guards hauling gear, DIA sealing doors. McMonigle lingered, the officer's words, terminated, hollow. He'd seen the craft, felt the watcher's rage. Swan warned it, Price died for it, Clara broke under it. The DIA could bury Stargate, but not the seed. Outside, Hensley's trail cooled in the desert, his last cigarette crushed under sand. He'd slipped east, files tucked close, Kazakhstan, Jupiter, Tunguska, proof for a fight he'd wage alone. The pulse hadn't scared him, it had fueled him. The DIA thought him mad, he thought them blind. The watchers were real, and he'd surface when they did. McMonigle stepped into the dusk, the sight locking behind him. Targ and Puthoff piled into a jeep, silent, their work ash. Where to? Targ asked, voice flat. Home, McMonigle said, limping on. For now. The desert swallowed sound, the hum faint but alive. In a DC office, Reagan signed the order. Stargate closed, files blacked, Hensley a ghost. The DIA scrubbed it clean, Swan's coma, medical, Price's death, natural, Clara, missing. The leak faded to fringe noise, Soviets silent, Volkov gone, their amplifier dead. McMonigle reached his bunk, sinking onto it. The sketch stayed in his pocket. Chamber, shadow, a truth no one wanted. He'd felt the swarm, AI, ancient, stirring in the belt. The watchers seated psychics to track it, guard it. Soviets woke it, Stargate glimpsed it. Now what? In Virginia, Clara stirred, eyes blank, the hum louder. A watcher's voice cut through. Late. And she whispered back, I know. Nevada's night deepened, McMonigle staring at the ceiling. The DIA thought it over, they were wrong. The seed was awake, and the race unraveled into something bigger.